Hello, Facebook and everyone here. Thank you for joining us. Lori and I are really excited to be here with you. Gosh, can you believe, Lori, that we're on day 5?
Day 5, yeah.
Day 5
Yeah.
of this magnificent challenge. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So today we're going to continue with day 5, taking inspired action and going through that we have gone through getting crystal clear, and Lori's going to take us through this.
Yeah. So, you guys have been doing amazing work. We really appreciate all of the people who are reaching out and doing their homework. And it's just so inspiring to watch you guys go from, showing up, wanting something on your heart, right? And then taking these steps that you're doing every day to no longer dream about it, no longer just wish that, that there could be something. And today we're going to continue that. Yesterday, you broke down your brainstorm and you laid out some very specific steps that you can take to start to take action, create your inspired intention that you set here with us. And, this is probably our most simple day. And the content for it is just simply, okay, now you've got your list of steps. We have to start taking action, right? And it sounds so simple, but just like yesterday, there are some nuances that we want to share with you, some perspectives that we want you to be thinking about as you step into this empowered, inspired action space. And, this is one of the most important things that you can understand about this is that being consistent and showing up regularly for your vision is, yes, you take the step and the step itself is helpful, but showing up and being consistent is such an important thing. It has importance far beyond, right, the one step that you're taking. Because when you show up and you take consistent action, you become the person who has what it is that you're striving for and who wants what it is. You start to identify, right, and create your identity is someone who, fill in the blank, has a beautiful, connected, intimate relationship, a person who has their online business, who is an entrepreneur, who is an author, who is a healthy person, who is, all the things that you showed up here to create. You become that through the consistent action, when you're tying into that energy and the identification with who that is. So that's why it was so important yesterday and why I went to such length to encourage you to really break down your steps into things that you can be taking action many days a week. Right. And that's why we want these, even if it's a 5-minute, a 10-minute phone call that you're making, or something that you're looking up really quick online that helps you move further. I can't stress enough that importance of being able to be consistent, right? And holding yourself out. This is who I am. Right. And so you have to do a little bit about creating that space and redefining priorities. So Mia, how do you help people understand or make space for their inspired action in their life?
I loved how you said you have to start to do it. And maybe you didn't say this, but I heard it because it's the truth.
Yeah.
It gets easier and easier, doesn't it? The more we step into that space that we need or want, right, the easier it becomes. Because really we're dealing with our saboteur, guys, until we get it to sleep, to be like, behave, stop telling me I can't do this, or pulling me away from my action. Until we can stop that and recognize it, it's going to keep pulling us away.
Yeah.
So if you want to be forthright, make your lists. Think about it, go through it, feel inspired. Remember, we talked about getting incredibly inspired within us, like a child would. When we can see it and breathe it and taste it, there's no stopping us. So as we work with the energy and as we work with manifestation and creation of this, know that it can be complete. What's really interesting, in the last 24 hours, I've heard of so much people's thoughts and talks about manifesting out in our world, our regular world. I was sent an article called The Tinkerbell Effect yesterday. And it's, I hate to say it, but it's what I've been talking about, seeding all along, and then you germinate what you want when you want, and blah, blah, blah. But it's interesting because we have this ability to do and take this to our heights, but we have to want it enough in order to do it. Lori and I can give you all the tools that there are, but if you don't take the steps and talk to yourself and put yourself first, you're doing these action steps because you are that important. You are that important to allow this to come to fruition so that you can have what you divinely want, what's rightfully yours. And so be gentle with yourself. Remember, gentleness opens us up like a flower to the sun, and harshness, which most humans are very harsh on themselves, closes us back up and we shrink away. So be in the state that allows you to enjoy what you're doing, to make it a part of who you are, to bring it into your life as exciting and fun. That's the way you're going to get through it. And that's the way it's going to be. You have to build this along with you. You have to be able to do it over and over and over and over, just like making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or making your bed when you're little, or washing your hair, or brushing your teeth. We have to implement exercises into us so it becomes part of our subconscious. And so that's really what we're doing here, is we're laying out our patterns, we're following them, whether you're talking about making a beautiful cake or a beautiful dress or a beautiful home. It literally is about laying it out what you want, taking the calm, patient steps and putting each one into place. Now, with what I said there, Lori, what do you think that someone in the audience, because we feel what people are thinking as we do this stuff. It's just something weird that happens to us. What do you think I missed there that might attract somebody in a different way?
Yeah, I mean, what you said about, the saboteur, which I think of as our protector too, right? It's just trying to protect us from whatever it is.
Saboteur.
Yeah, whatever it is that we're feeling. But, this is the point. Some people have fallen, I don't want to say fallen off. Some people have let their thoughts, right, stop them in this process. And this happens every time with every challenge ever offered by any human being, right?
Right.
There comes a point where many of the people are going to drop off. They're not going to keep showing up. They're not going to keep doing the work. And that's, I think, very important data for everybody to understand, because, okay, awesome. We're seeing what's happening for people. We want to understand what's happening for people, which we do. At this point in the game, people are saying, I have all these other things that are I can't do this work.
It's the human pattern, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. My mom is sick. I can't do this work. I'm moving. I can't do this work. I don't have the resources. I don't have this, whatever. Something is coming up. And they identify with it and they say, yeah, that's true. So I can't, instead of recognizing it. Oh, this is the saboteur, or this element of myself that's trying to protect myself from going into this unknown territory, or whatever the reason is. But this is the point in the journey, especially where those things come up for us, and we make excuses. We make excuses for ourselves. And I don't say that in a critical way. Lord knows I spent so many years of my own life not pushing through and not doing the things that I wanted because of these thoughts, right? Around, I don't have time, or that's too hard, or I don't have the money, or whatever it is, right? So this is the point where it's so important for each person to get some support and guidance. We can't solve that problem with the same thinking that we use to get us there, right? That's Einstein's famous saying. I think Einstein would have been a great life coach, but in any event, this is the point where we get to support you and help you. What is your thinking around why you can't do this? why you can't take this action. Why is
So
inspired action a
let's talk a
challenge?
little bit about that, because I'm still going to call it the saboteur, guys, because for some of us, we've served others so much that we don't know how to serve ourselves. That's where I was 13, 14 years ago, 15 years ago, even though I was coaching and doing other work too of transformation, I still was stuck in a loop. And so jumping from that loop into where I am today, you know, crossing that threshold for me and for most people is a really big identification within ourselves that we have to make. We have to realize that it's stopping us. And what do we want? Do we want to cross the creek, or do we want to stay on the other side?
Yeah.
Once we take that first step and we identify what's going on, and then we start to begin to recognize it as it comes in, if we can't just stop it immediately, a choice is a choice. And if you choose to move forward in anything that you do, no matter what it is, that's your choice. The biggest holdback or stopping people is, my parents are sick. We're at this age, my parents are sick, they're dying, they're old. Maybe when that's over with, I can't. Guess what's going to happen, guys? And this is a fact. Especially people whose parents are sick and they're taking care of them. You're the caretaker. You've always been the caretaker. And so guess what? You're going to continue to be the caretaker. And once you're through with your parents, you're going to be struggling to care for them in the beyond. You're going to continue to struggle with your own life because you haven't put yourself first. You can change your life while you're still caretaking your parents. You can heal cancer while you're still doing whatever the challenge. I've seen people do crazy things. See, that's where the desire is. How much do you want it? And you know that saying that they're so afraid of their own success. I don't think people even really realize that, because it's all it is it's a space that they don't know, so they think they can't get there, and then they don't.
Yeah. And that's why, you know, tomorrow is a really big day in the challenge. Anybody who is able to be live but certainly, you know, the replay is great too, but we're going to dive into all of the different blocks that keep people from achieving the things that are on their heart. And so it's a really important day. Tomorrow, I think, is probably the most important day in some respects, because it is the place where, you know, anybody can do the work to get to where we are right now, right? Do a little, you know, these little homework assignments, get kind of excited about what you're doing. Here's where the rubber meets the road, right? Where it comes to identifying what's holding me back. And that's what we're talking about a little bit today. That's what tomorrow is all about. But for today, you know, really challenge yourself when those messages come up and tell you, oh, I don't have time for that, or I don't. And sometimes the saboteur is saying things like, maybe I don't even really want it that bad, right? That's how like deep we can go into that space of not recognizing that this is only a block.
It's a self-denial almost.
Yeah. So today, lean into this. The integration work is for you to get out your calendar, not say, I'm going to do these, right? We want it on paper. We want to understand exactly where you're going to be making time for your vision. And I like, you know, you could think about some things like maybe it's every Monday and Friday afternoon. Maybe it's every other Saturday for 3 or 4 hours, right? I want you to find those blocks. I'm going to spend my lunch hour, you know, 3 days a week, or whatever it is. Find those spaces in your calendar where you're going to go through the list that you made yesterday and check off those actionable items, and actually, you know, putting them on the calendar. Where are you going to fit them week by week, going through every week and putting those things on the calendar so that you can see that they're happening, and be gentle with yourself, obviously, if you didn't get to something on the list, that's not a reason to beat yourself up. It just goes back on for the next week or whatever, but you're taking and you're going to be figuring out what does work with my schedule. And again, not letting the blocks come up that say it's not possible right now. It absolutely is possible right now, and you're going to do it. So I want to mention really quickly that this is the time when you may not know what your block is. You may just see yourself not showing up for the integration work, or for really, you don't see yourself being able to take steps. And that's why we've incorporated the accelerated calls into our challenge. These are free calls where we're one-on-one with you, understanding what it is that you want, and understanding where you are in the process, and what might be coming up for you, so that we can help you push past that. So we can help give you clarity around why it's happening and what steps you're going to take so that it doesn't shut down your dreams.
I want to tell you or share with you all just really a very quick thing here. I'm just like you. I remember as a coach getting busier and busier when I first started, being still afraid of my calendar. There were days when I had projects on there that would show up and I would not touch it at all. And when Lori said, and then, okay, so it's on for the next week, it would sit there for maybe 2 months before I would even look at it. Yeah. So look, I'm just like you. I know it, but I also know how to get to the other side of success, because there's that questioning that we do for ourselves. We stop ourselves. But what do you really want? Because we always know that we can stop ourselves, but do we know that we actually have the energy, the desire, and the drive to continue and do it all at once? That's the miracle that most people don't understand, is that we're so much more versatile than we allow ourselves to even witness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes we need help to see that,
and
to know what are the tools that will take me, and to be able to lean into it, because we don't see it for ourselves most of the time.
Lori, maybe some people don't understand what transformation really is, or at least they haven't been in a lot of different transformational settings or programs. The way Lori and I teach is based in love, is in kindness and love. I've been in transformational programs years ago where I would have my coach yelling and screaming and saying, if I had a gun to your child's head, would you be able to get this done? Like a soldier, right? And so, first of all, I would totally blank out, because when you say you have a gun to my child's head,
you go into survival mode.
I'm like, what? So know that we're here, not whatever you think that we're here for. If it's in the alignment of that, we truly do care because we've been there, and this is part of the work that we do, is to support people. This is why we're here, because we know that there can be yelling and screaming and harsh stuff, but we've also transformed with people their work, thousands, under the guise of love. And when I say guise of love, I don't mean that as a disguise, because we're not disguising anything. It's right there. We just have to dust it off, and to see that everything is right there underneath for us, to not just to witness, but to take into action as our own. And as you do one complete thing, allow that to inspire you to keep going, because you are worth it. You are totally amazing.
Yeah. Not only are you worth it, but you have a certain responsibility to show up here and carry out.
Oh, that's nice. That is nice. I mean, seriously, for yourself, not for us, for yourself.
For the world. I mean, whatever is on your heart, you were given the gifts that you need in order to bring that into being. You were given that, right? And, we'll kind of wrap up with this, but one of my favorite stories, or I don't know what you call it necessarily, but I heard that when we die and go, to wherever we go, we're going to meet a version of ourselves that has expressed and brought forth all of the gifts that were put in us from the time that we were born. And this person said, heaven is where you look at that version of yourself and you're exactly the same. like where none of your gifts and none of your music, right, is still left inside of you. And so that's what we're here to do, is to really honor those gifts and allow you to express yourself fully in the world, because we need you. The world needs what was put in you, and that this is how we do it. We go through these steps, and we also get love and support. And so it's very important today that you sign up for your accelerated call with us, so that we can show you how to break through your block and to take all of this work forward. And please post your homework in the group, in the Facebook group, so that we can be in there, we can be guiding and supporting you. Other people can be benefiting from your beautiful sharings.
Yeah. I had an idea that Lori doesn't know yet, everybody, and I'm going to ask her in front of you. We'll put her on the spot. Tomorrow and possibly Sunday, you and I absolutely love it, the interaction of human energy, and we love it when people are on our phone lines with us when we take them over. Do you think tomorrow we could open it up for a surprise for people, that they could come on with us into Facebook Live? Because people love that.
Absolutely. And what a powerful thing, as we're going through the blocks, for people to really, be able to maybe ask a few questions about, here's what, comes up for me, or I'm not sure, is this a block, or is this, whatever it is. I think that's a great idea. So
we'll be putting it up in the group and in your emails tomorrow. It'll be there. So good. Wonderful.
I love it. I love it. I hope we do have some people who will take advantage of this. Definitely do get on the schedule for an accelerated call, and so that we can, one-on-one kind of help and support you. This is one of the most important features of the challenge is this general information for all of you, but how is it playing out in your life is really important. So we want to make sure you take advantage of that free time with us.
Yes. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
I can't wait. All right.
Okay. Bye.